The last year has been amazing. Even despite the pandemic, First Choice kept going. We closed during the 2-month period that most businesses closed, but we didn't close our services. We were still able to meet with clients. We kept the momentum, and as soon as, that mandate to be closed reopened, our doors haven't shown any signs of effect. Actually, our numbers have stayed the same, very steady. We've seen a shift in when our clients come that they need more than just pregnancy tests, pregnancy education, even parenting education. We've always had on our intake form, a whole list of bullet points of, this is what we offer. And there's been 3 areas that are rarely checked: post-abortion recovery, spiritual health, and relationship health. And even though we've been trained and we have the resources for those 3 areas, for whatever reason, up until about 2 years ago, those were areas that we just didn't, we didn't see a response. We need this. And suddenly there's been this shift, especially since COVID. We have women coming in and they're checking those 3 areas. And simultaneously, Jen Joling, my center director here in Rapids, found this curriculum, very new, written by Dinah Monahan, Breaking the Shackles of Shame. And she took it immediately and came to me and said, this is the root of a woman who feels like she needs an abortion. It's shame, and it affects all of us. And I was like, we need to dig into this and find out how we can be involved.
So the studies consist of 2 separate studies. Giving God Your Worst is an introduction to surrender. So it's for a person that's done many Bible studies in their life. It's kind of a basic introduction to how we let go of something to the Lord. And then Breaking the Shackles dives into your entire life and how generational things have occurred even before your parents were born that caused them to be the parents that they are to you and caused you to be the parent that you are to your children. And it walks through how to separate the things out that maybe weren't so good for you, and how to forgive, what that means for you in your life as far as setting boundaries, and then how to move forward in freedom.
So I started going to the church I currently attend a little over a year ago, I believe. And so I'm just growing in my faith, and I like to take any learning opportunity. So I've never really done a Bible study like this. We kind of start strong and then you kind of taper off a little, kind of, life gets busy. But this one we've been doing pretty consistently here since last spring, and I really had no expectations coming in. I just want to know more about God and know more about who I am in Him and why I am the way I am. And we all have things we need to work on and grow from. I think the biggest thing though is learning why and where that comes from. So my biggest thing is to just grow as a child of God, as a wife, and then as a mother. And I want to be able to maximize that growth. So going back and just seeing like where those traumas occurred, that was big for me because I don't have any major traumas per se that people will look at you and be like, oh my gosh, like you've been through all of that. I don't have that, but it's just different, The biggest thing I'm going through is breaking generational curses, in a new way of how I parent, and I'm first line Christian, and it's just those kinds of things are what I'm working through. So to break from those and be someone in a whole different light in God, it's challenging.
I am what you would call a baby Christian. So I really have only been on this path for my life for the last 2 years. So surrounding myself with ladies who, some of them are about the same time as me, and then there are other ladies who have a lot more and longer than have been doing this for a lot longer, gives me all different kinds of insight and helps me be able to talk through things, and I can get feedback from maybe somebody who's in the same boat as me, or I can get feedback from somebody who's been through it already and, already made their way to the other side of it. But without that, just trying to do this on my own, I wouldn't be able to have those people to bounce that off of. So it could be beneficial, but it wouldn't be nearly as beneficial without the ladies around me that helped me be able to get through that and show me how to trust them, to be able to be honest with them and share that information with them.
Yeah, I think many of the topics have been eye-opening for me, and definitely not at first certain that was a challenge. I had seen the picture I had painted or the experiences I've led in one way, and when you go through a study and you pick out specific topics or specific points of your life to focus on, it really does pull out different emotions, different considerations of why or what is that truth or the lie around that situation. And so in the beginning it was a little bit, it was a great start and ease into the conversations and getting to know the group. And then we really dove into it later into the series, and really getting into some viewpoints from other people. But again, we're a community here that really pulls in respect for each other, and we it's a safe environment to share those opinions with, and so we're able to express those concerns and thoughts and really work through them together.
I have learned so much. I have grown so much. My clients have taught me so much. And it's just a joy to work with them every week, to watch them grow, to share with them, to share just the ins and outs of everyday life, and our love for Jesus. We welcome these young women and families into our family. We want to support them every way we can. We will support them in terms of daily needs, in terms of their spiritual life, and we are their biggest cheerleaders.
Well, even I was a young mom too, and they never had places like this, and I wish they would have. But to see that there's hope and there's healing, and that we care and that there's help, I think that's really, some of them choose life because of that, because they have somebody to stand by them throughout the whole pregnancy and beyond.
We're pro-life, and everyone in this audience, you're here because you have the same passion as we do. You are pro-life, and that is the root of the ministry of First Choice. That's why so many years ago it was established to have these pregnancy resource centers in these communities to help those women that find themselves in unplanned pregnancies make the right choice. What we're seeing though is that we can't just talk someone out of an abortion because we think life starts in the womb and they don't, So this Bible study, these talks, this health relationship, this spiritual relationship growth that we're going to be able to offer anyone that comes into our centers is going to be key to changing the trajectory of how these young women think. This generation coming up thinks differently than we did. And so I think it's going to offer us a way to share our mission statement, revealing the love of Jesus, to share that without judgment on what their choices have been or what even they think is the right choice, is by dealing with them as a person and being able to say, we know where you came from and we can help you and give you the hope and the answers for your future. As donors and supporters, I just want your affirmation in this, whether it's by giving us money to help us renovate the Bible, and provide the Bible studies. It's going to cost you know, the wages for my staff to run the Bible studies. It's obviously the renovation of the building. It's getting the word out, the marketing, the books, being able to offer childcare. I mean, that's a big piece of it. You know, we want to be able to offer childcare so that the women and the spouses or partners can go through the Bible study together and not have children, you know, be able to, how do I take care of the children? We just need support in prayer, that this would be received well in the community, that the Holy Spirit would work through it. And I do, you know, again, thank you all for being here and listening and hearing the excitement that we're holding from the inside and bringing it out. We appreciate your marketing for us, telling people about us, sharing who we are. And I just appreciate all of you so much. Thank you.